So who's hungry? Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to Hunger. This is the first of two movies we are doing this week. That is for the 2024 Valentine's Week special. So for those who didn't hear, our theme this week is for the love of food. We are going to be doing Valentine's Day special reactions that specifically center around the food industry and the love and passion of food. This first movie was my choice. The next movie will have been voted on by all of you via the polls on the community tab. So this movie is Hunger, and all I know about this movie, other than the fact that it's on Netflix, is that it is a 2.5 hour Thai film. I don't think I've seen a Thai movie before. So that's really interesting in and of itself. And I only found out it was 2.5 hours when I was getting it up for this reaction. So that caught me a little off guard. I was not expecting this to be that long. So yeah, I don't know what the plot of this is at all. Basically, when I was looking up movies to put on the poll, as well as to determine one of them to just choose on my own, I basically just looked up, okay, foodie movies. What kind of foodie movies are out there that I haven't already seen? I compiled a list, and I just kind of randomly picked one. It's like, okay, this one's going to be the my choice one. All of the others are going to have to be voted on by everyone else. So, although this is my choice, I don't really have a reason for having picked it. It was just kind of a random decision. I kind of, the only real reason you could say is because I chose it, I guess, because it was Thai and that sounded interesting to me. That's really the only thing that really lent me over in that direction compared to everything else. So, yeah, that's what I know about this. But I'm very interested to see what this is about because I've seen a few food movies here and there, and I do tend to really enjoy them because I really enjoy the culinary arts. I took culinary classes in middle school and high school, and although I never like followed through on that profession, I do still enjoy it. I do occasionally watch some like Food Network stuff and Cooking Channel stuff, and I do sometimes make some food. I can make a pretty mean potato soup. But yeah. So this movie, Hunger, the title doesn't really give me too much to work off of. It could mean a lot of things in regards to the food industry, and I don't know if this is going to be like in terms of like food industry, like in terms of cooking, in terms of like culinary stuff in like a kitchen, or if it's like a home cook kind of situation, or if it's just someone who just likes fucking food. Phrasing, who just fucking likes food. I needed to reword that. We don't have an American Pie situation on our hands here. Someone who fucking likes food, not likes fucking food. I just phrased that really wrong. You know what I mean? But yeah. So this again, 2.5 hours. We should probably just get into this. And hope for the best. I don't know what to expect, but I'm very excited. I've seen some Thai food in Amphibia, so that's fun. I don't really like know Thai food too much, It's not like a cuisine I've really delved into a lot, but I'm definitely interested to see. So let us just get this going, and like I said, hope for the best. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the movie. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Are you ready for this? Are you ready? 12 Angry Men. The Green Mile. The Menu. The Whale. And now number 5. Hunger. Yeah. This movie made me feel every emotion in the book. And I think it's the first Thai movie I've ever seen, to my knowledge at least. But without question, I have to consider it one of my, not just favorite movies of all time, but one of the now 5 movies I consider perfect. Out of the thousands of movies I've seen, hundreds of thousands maybe, I don't know. Only 5 now. And it's interesting because the comparisons to The Menu are definitely in here. In fact, this movie kind of made me think of 2 separate movies kind of mashed together. The Menu and I just had it in my head. I hate when that happens. Oh, The Menu and Whiplash. If you've ever seen Whiplash with J.K. Simmons and Miles Teller, phenomenal film. Absolutely amazing film. And there's very much that same vibe in this movie with our characters compared to Miles Teller's character and J.K. Simmons in Whiplash. There's a very similar vibe to it, but as I kind of made clear at the end of the reaction, this movie, let's be honest, is the prodigal son. If you're not Christian and you don't know what that means, the prodigal son is a story from the Bible. It's a story that Jesus tells for the message behind it. To put it simply and quickly, the prodigal son is the story about a young man who decides to take his inheritance early. He takes it from his father and leaves the house, choosing to spend it on women, on food, on gambling, the highlights of life, as you will. But he gets lost in that lifestyle and ends up going broke. He sleeps with the pigs. He can't afford anything to eat. And eventually has to tuck his tail between his legs and return to his home. He expects to be scolded. He expects I told you so. But instead, his father comes out, runs to him, and wraps him in a hug. Tells the servants to bring the fattest calf, and that they're going to have a celebration because his son has returned home. We saw most of that ending play out in this movie's ending. She returns home. Aoi. I apologize again for mispronunciations. I'm going to say Aoi. Aoi returns home. Her tail tucked between her legs. Nothing to her but herself and her walk. Ashamed of what she had become. She lost herself to the fame, to trying to overcome uh, her Chef Paul, her mentor, who ended up, being a lot scummier than I thought he was going to be at first. But I'll get into that. And she expected that her father and her siblings wouldn't welcome her back, that they would be ashamed of who she had become, just like she was ashamed of who she became. But instead, they welcomed her back with open arms, with joy, and without reservation. They were happy that she had returned to them. Despite everything she had done, despite how she turned her back on them at multiple occasions, she still was welcomed back. This movie is perfect. It did pretty much everything right. Like I said, it made me feel every emotion in the book. I felt anger. Oh, I felt furious anger. Oh, at that part at the end, when he started pouring the soup, oh, I was livid. I was on the verge of throwing my computer. I held back because I don't want to hurt my computer. I don't want to break my computer, but I was so pissed because, like, you saw that moment when it revealed that the father killed his daughter, his 4-year-old daughter and wife, and then himself. When it revealed that, you saw how that affected me. I had to get up. I went and I hugged this dog over here and cried into her fur. I paced back and forth a bit. I walked into the kitchen and slammed my hand onto the counter. You might have heard it. I was so upset at that. I made a point earlier in the film when it showed them of noting how fucking adorable that girl was. And it's like murder-suicides are never okay. And it's just... that upset me so goddamn much when it was revealed. So when he started pouring that soup at the end, I understand why his sous chef stabbed him. I get it now. I wanted to stab him in the throat with a chainsaw. It's rare. It's rare that I am really this pit when a character like kind of turns on me. Quite, I don't know how to calm down, chill, breathe. It's rare when a character turns this much in my eyes in a film to the point where it makes me so angry that I fantasize in my head about killing them. That takes a lot. Even like the worst, most horrible villains in a lot of these movies, that it's rare that I fantasize about murdering them like that. That takes a special kind of vile. That takes a special kind of evil. And he was doing it to fucking taunt her. You absolutely 100% know that. She's like, oh, I'm going to make my grandmother's dish. And he's like, okay, let's bring out the real poor food. It's like, fuck off, you absolute fucking cunt. I was defending him earlier in this film. I was talking about how, oh, he's rude and mean and a bit of a hothead, but he's fair. He's fair. That was thrown out the fucking window now, wasn't it? Like I said when it happened, the entire legality of the, Hornbill, the endangered species shit and everything, I'm I don't have as strong of an opinion on that because one, not everything that's illegal is necessarily wrong, and not everything that is legal is not necessarily right. And two, I don't know enough about that kind of stuff, and I don't have as like strong of an opinion on that kind of stuff as others do. Just typically. Maybe that could change if I became more educated about it. I acknowledge that. I don't know. But because of like where I'm at with my knowledge in that and everything and my understanding of all of that, it's just never I've just never had that huge strong opinion regarding it. So that wasn't the thing that really like affected me about it and all. Him telling her it's like, oh, you can't be worried about breaking the law. You just have to do what you have to do and everything. It's not like we're the ones killing it. It's like that's not the issue in the first place. But at the same time, it's like that's not what bothers me with him in this movie. In the end, it's just how vile and sick and twisted he ends up proving to be. Something that he not really hid exactly, but he definitely put on a little bit of an airs around Aoi. Like when she first came in, again, he was mean, he was crass, he was a hothead and everything. But like you saw, like these glimmers of like hope as well. Like, oh, there's shrimp in this soup. It's like this girl is deathly allergic to shrimp. We can't serve this. And he gets angry at them and everything for doing that. For sabotaging the soup and almost killing someone. A young girl, too. So I'm thinking like, oh, that's reasonable. But then later in the movie, he ends up like, pouring the soup, taunting Aoi about the murder suicide of that same girl. The girl who was murdered by her father in the murder suicide. He was putting on airs. And more than that, also, it was purely because of his reputation. That's the only reason he got angry. That ends up being made very clear. The only reason he got angry in the end was because it would hurt his reputation. And then like Tone's downfall like was partially because, let's be honest, of Aoi's downfall. She corrupted him. And it sucks. It's really sad. But we also saw there were hints of that corruptness that already existed within him too, with the fact that he was willing to steal the food and everything from Chef Paul in the first place. And the fact that he just let someone take the fall for it. And then her sponsor, Aoi's sponsor, he ended up being the one to like pull the strings to get both Aoi and Chef Paul there at that party at the end, because he had put together this plan with Ton to, fuck over Chef Paul to make Aoi look good in comparison. It was a marketing tactic. They didn't even have like Chef Paul arrested for the actual like real reasons he should have been arrested. It was a marketing tactic to promote Aoi. And that's fucked up. They used her as a tool, basically. This movie was insane. It started off pretty normal, pretty nice. It pretty much started going crazy once Chef Paul was stabbed. Once that happened, it's like, oh, shit's starting to hit the fan. All right, let's go. Sure. That caught me so off guard because it didn't really feel like it was out of nowhere. It felt like it was built up to. But at the same time, it just was a massive tone shift that just shocked me so hard. And the movie just kept spiraling from there. And I mean that in the best way, of course. This movie, like, I don't know how it could have been any better. Like I said, I think it was perfect. The acting was great, by the way. I haven't talked about that kind of thing yet, but the acting was great. Everyone pulled off their roles amazingly. The actress who played Owie did amazing showcasing that spiraling descent into corruption. The actor who played Chef Paul was amazing at being intimidating, at being threatening, at being sympathetic even at times to make you think that there might be some good in him. The vapid socialites are good at being vapid socialites. Well, the actors and actresses who played them are good at playing vapid socialites who have no, decency to them. And just even the down to earth people, the family, and everything. Everyone pulled off their roles excellently. The soundtrack was gorgeous. The set design, the costuming, the shot design, how everything was shot and all of it was fantastic. Like I said, I have no complaints. There's not a single thing that I would say is bad about this film. Like the only thing I can say is like, oh, some scenes bothered me, but that's not really a negative against the film because they were obviously made to bother you. They like that was the intent of those scenes. Like the fact that they showed the bloody corpses of that family, like that was meant to fuck you up. That was very intentional and it fucked me up for a good bit. Ugh. This movie went from 0 to 100 pretty damn quickly and surprised the hell out of me. Also, like I said multiple times in the reaction, it is a good thing I had lunch before I recorded this because goddamn that food all looked amazing. I got so fucking hungry watching this and I had already eaten. Imagine if I went into this on an empty stomach. Like, I would have been a mess. More than I already was, mind you. It's really funny, too, because like I said in the pre-thoughts, this movie wasn't chosen by you guys. If you really want to be technical, it wasn't even really chosen by me. It was a random decision. It's like, oh, this is a Thai movie? I don't think I've seen a Thai movie before. Let's go with that. That is the like only thing I knew about it going into this. And I only knew it was like 2.5 hours and everything. Like just before we started when I got it up like right before hitting record on the pre-thoughts. That's when I found out it was 2.5 hours. I knew nothing going into this. And yet it's the one I chose and now it's in my 5 movies that I consider perfect. How the fuck did that happen? How the fuck did I get that fucking lucky out of nowhere? I need to go play the lottery. I don't even really like the lottery, but I need to go play it apparently. Take me to a casino. Shit. I don't know why that's the first thing everyone thinks about casinos and lottery when it comes to like, oh, you're feeling lucky. It's like there's a lot of other ways you could go about that. But yeah, the point is it's like I just happened to find a perfect film by pure accident, by pure happenstance. Now I'm excited for what you guys are going to be choosing as the other movie, which I'll obviously have a video made by the time you're seeing this on Saturday. Obviously, that video will already have been out, and you'll already know what's going to be the other movie. But as of the time I'm recording this, I don't know yet. So, yeah. Um, Tell me what you thought in the comments below. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.